Hello again, friends. Mad Laughter at Laughter Mad here with my channel, What Else You Got, where we do 2 or 3 things. 1, watch a funny video. 2, we laugh. 3, we don't laugh. And then we talk about why it was comedy crap. Or actually, more like I say why it's comedy crap, and then you guys tell me why I'm wrong. And that's cool. Today, I'm hoping that's not going to happen. Today, I'm going to be playing a clip by a comedian that some of you have been asking to hear, Patton Oswalt. I know he's still pretty decent right now. I've seen him around. I don't know that I've seen a comedy clip of his. I feel like I've seen him do a piece of stand-up maybe on like a late night show or something. I don't really remember. I kind of remember his delivery. I know a bit about him, right? He's been around for a while. I know he's been on various TV shows. He was on King of Queens.
This is a virgin appletini.
I know he's had a lot of Netflix specials, or at least a couple of them. I know he's a big geek. And I know he has a big following. So I'm sure that if I don't find this bit incredibly funny, I'll have, 2 million nerds trying to roll their D20 dice to kill me and kill my Dungeons & Dragons character post-haste. Actually, I do love me some Dungeons & Dragons myself, so. But I don't care about you little goblins, and I don't care that he's a Dungeons & Dragons fan, like myself, because if he doesn't make me laugh, and he's not funny, then that's what we do here. We don't laugh. We talk about why it isn't funny. We analyze the people who do think it's funny, and then we ask them why you thought it was funny, because the majority of us don't. So, telling it like it is, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm being cautiously optimistic here that I'll have a little bit in common with him, and I'll be able to laugh, and that'll be helpful. So, here's what we know about Patton from the Wiki. Apparently he's from Virginia. Apparently he's the son of a career Marine Corps guy, which sort of surprises me. Him and his brother, because I see his brother on Twitter sometimes being retweeted by him, because I do follow Patton on Twitter, even though I haven't seen any of his jokes, which is sort of funny. Surprises me that he's also an atheist, which doesn't surprise me. But I don't know. It just seems like he's a contradiction from where he comes from. So I'm wondering if that's going to be that plays out in his comedy. So anyways, here I am, Patton. Hit me with your comedy two-handed sword and roll a critical hit with a 20. Nerd. Like me. All right. What else you got, man? Let's hear it.
People that are against gay marriage, if they just openly said, I'm against gay marriage because thinking about 2 men having butt sex or 2 women having scissor sex kills my boner, dries up my vagina, I can't have sex, it ruins my life, that's why I'm against it. That would be a valid argument. We'd have to actually debate you on that. But these lunatics always go, well, because it says in the Bible. Okay, stop, hang on. I'm glad you like a book. I really am. I'm glad that... At this point, I'm glad anybody's reading anything. And I'm not even putting it in the Bible. The Bible is terrific. Give it a read. It's got monsters and adventures and hey, if you like torture porn, check out the Old Testament. Oh, man. Any Saw fans out there? Woo! Get the Old Testament. But just because you like something in a book doesn't mean you can have the thing you like in the book happen in real life. That's what crazy people want. I can't go to the White House with a bunch of Green Lantern comics and go, I want a Green Lantern ring.
Nerd.
I saw it in a book I like. Make the thing in the book I like be here now. I would be justifiably tased if I did that. Nobody would go, hey, we have to respect his beliefs. You've got to respect everybody's beliefs. No, you don't. That's what gets us in trouble. You have to acknowledge everyone's beliefs. And then you have to reserve the right to go, that is fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? I acknowledge you believe that. That's great, but I'm not going to respect it. I have an uncle who believes he saw Sasquatch. We do not believe him, nor do we respect him. What if I 1,000% believed, and I believe this 1,000%, what if I believed that there was a giant, invisible anus hovering over me, and if I wasn't nice and helpful and courteous and charitable to everyone I met, the anus would appear, suck me up into it, and I would be devoured by shit piranhas. And I believe this 1,000%. I would be the nicest guy you ever met. Like, Patton, you're so helpful and charitable and courteous to people. Why is that? And I would go, it's funny you should ask me that. You can't see it, but there's an invisible anus hovering over me. And if I'm not nice to everybody, it will appear and suck me up, and I'll be eaten. Well, I don't need to tell you about the shit piranhas. We all know about those, right? Your correct response would be, I acknowledge you believe that. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Please do not stop believing in the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because you're actually helping people out with your craziness. Don't stop believing in that stuff, please. I beg you. I mean, just Jesus' superpowers alone are so crazy. They don't even... Look, I'm not saying that they're bad. They're just so random. He has the most random... Like, on the one hand, he's got the necromancer powers, where he can drive away demons and raise the dead. Oh, wow. Awesome. And then, over here, he can take a little bit of food and make it into a lot of food. What? Doesn't that sound like a power that one of his sidekicks had in earlier versions of the Bible, and then as they kept rewriting it, they're like, why don't we lose Sandwich Joe? Why do we have him? He doesn't really say anything cool. Like, Jesus is always saying all this cool shit, and then he pops in, who wants a nice pita? Ah! It's the fucking Sermon on the Mount, Joe. Get out of here. They looked hungry. I thought I'd pop in. And, give Jesus the lunch powers. See, it's Jesus' wisdom and humility that would keep him out of the good superhero teams. If he ever came back, he wouldn't just go to the X-Men and say, guys, I can raise the dead. So you keep me at the mansion, someone dies, bring him back, boom, I put him right back in the game. They'd be like, wow, you're hired. Thanks, Jesus. Let's go get you a cool leather uniform, man. Are you married to the beard? All right, no, that's cool. He would be very humble and self-effacing and say, well, superpowers, let me think. Well, there was this one time when many people were gathered, and there was but a crust of bread and a few fish, and then the next thing you know, everyone had a nice lunch. And they'd say, wow, that's amazing. Hang on, just one second. Guys, remember when we took down Magneto and we needed like 15,000 sandwiches? Yeah, me neither. So, we're good. Thank you for coming in. I don't know what to tell you. Try the Avengers. They'll take anybody. Those guys. Have you been to them? Oh, they have a guy with a bow and arrow. I'm not kidding. What are they, recruiting at sporting goods stores, or? Hey, you jump rope really fast. How'd you like to be an Avenger? I like the way you tether balls, sir. How would you like to take on Ultron?
All right. Okay. Let's unpack that. This is gonna get a little weird. So, that one was called The Insanity of Faith. I think it's just one of many that I think Patton does. I've heard that he does. He's an atheist, so he does some, the atheist kind of jokes. There was a couple funny parts, and again, this is sort of like the the Doug Stanhope one I did on nationalism, which was, him more observing things, and the parts that I thought were the funniest were the parts I didn't even really laugh all that much at. I just, thought the observation made a lot of sense and it was funny and clever, and I really liked it. And I thought, well, if we were sitting around in a room bullcrapping about things that we wanted to complain about, Patton would be one of those guys that you'd want in there, so you'd go like, yeah, I never thought about that. Yes, that's funny. And then later on, you'd steal his joke and tell it to someone else and go like, oh yeah, here's my observation that I had, and you'd tell us a joke about, the giant anus, right? Like, just the idea that if you transcribe giant anus and put in Jesus, it's essentially the same. So the story becomes silly then if you put giant anus in there instead of Jesus. If that was just Jesus, then people would be cool with that, or at least some people would be cool with that. The idea that you are nice to people because Jesus tells you to, and if you don't, you'll go to hell. And in this case, Patton is saying, well, it's a giant anus. It's going to suck me up there. And so I really clever, really funny, but, overall, did I lose my shit? No, I didn't. Does that mean Patton's terrible? No. Here's what's weird, though. So here's where I'm going to blow your mind. Compared to what we've talked about before, because we talked about before about the idea that if you relate to somebody and you relate to them, then you think they're funnier. Listen, not always the case, man. I mean, listen, he had comic book references. I'm a huge comic book nerd. If you've seen the shirts I wear sometimes, if you hear talked about necromancy, we talked about Jesus being able to raise people from the dead, necromancy and stuff like that are things you hear in Dungeons and Dragons. We already talked about him being a Dungeons and Dragons nerd, something that I also am a little bit of. So, two things that I identify with him a lot on, and yet that didn't make me just lose my shit. So I don't think I'm special. I just think that, so far, he's more funny observationally to me, and the funny kind of ha-ha versus the ha-ha-ha, which we talked about before, versus, just me losing my shit. And again, I'm going to need to hear a few more clips from Patton. So let me know. Let me know in the comments what kind of clips you have from Patton. What are the kind of things he's talked about? What are the kinds of things that you think that he says that are funny? Give me the links or what have you if you can, and I will try to take a look at those. I don't know too much more about the stuff he does, so leaving it up to you guys to tell me. So I'm sure you'll come through. So thanks a lot. Keep commenting. I'll keep commenting back when I can. I usually try to do them all at once on a day that I'm free. I'm going to do that in a little bit here probably. Go ahead and click on the big red link below and subscribe if you could, please. That would be real great. And you'll see a little notification anytime a new video from me pops up. I'm going to try and be a little more regimented when I put these online. So thank you very much for bearing with me. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Love you guys, and I will talk to you all later. Peace out.